Aloha and Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'm here to talk about tonight's Torah story. So the message for tonight and the week ahead is revealed in the Torah story called Pekudei. Parshat Pekudei. And this story is about the completion of the building of the tabernacle. So for the last few weeks, the past few Shabbats, we've spoken about the process of the building of the tabernacle and then, the distraction of the golden calf and the forgiveness and the return to finish and complete this process. And now we have come to that place of completion. Also, this is the last story in the book of Shemot. So it's really a conclusion, a big initiation, a completion, fulfillment in a really profound way too, because the goal of life, the Torah says, is to create a dwelling place for the divine, to create an abode for God, to come into this world and live amongst us. And so they finally achieved that after this long process. The Israelites have finally achieved that. And to cut straight to the point, the story gives a list, an account, almost like a receipt of all of the materials and efforts that were given toward this mission. It's saying all of these people gave all of these things, all of these great efforts were made. And now here we are, it is complete. The temple is complete. And then the cloud descends and fills the temple, the cloud being God's presence, to solidify this completion, to initiate the children of Israel upon completion of this great task. And the message with this story for tonight and the week ahead is, what efforts have we been giving that brought us to this place we're at right here, right now? What are you completing in your life right now? What in your life is something you've been working toward that now is finally coming to a place of completion? Or what would you have liked to have completed by now and you haven't quite been able to do so? It's about examining our efforts or our lack of effort put toward our goals, and also re-examining our goals and asking, are these goals worthy of my pursuit? Are these goals worthy of my dedication and commitment? Because the building and completion of the tabernacle is the most powerful thing we can do. The Torah says that we're in this world to create a dwelling space for the divine, to create an abode for God to come in and live amongst us. So the completion of the tabernacle is representing this creative or alchemical process where we give our all to this mission, which hopefully has this most great divine, profound purpose. So it's calling us tonight and then the week ahead to ask ourselves, and maybe each other, have dialogues about this on Shabbat and with our family and friends. Maybe new people you're meeting, to have meaningful conversation. Ask each other, what have your goals been? Which goals are you now completing? Which goals do you wish you've completed? Do you need to reevaluate your goals and ask, are these goals carrying a divine purpose and intention? Are they really worthy of your time and energy? Can you hold up this goal to the building of the tabernacle? Does it feel like it's something that's going to support the welcoming in of that divine presence? What are you building right now? What have you been building and maybe is being completed right now? Has it been for the goal and intention of inviting in God's presence? Has what you've been doing been supporting the ultimate plan that we all are a part of, to bring heaven to earth, to create a dwelling place for the divine? And if not, maybe it's time to reevaluate your goals or maybe shift some pieces around so that even if it's seemingly mundane on the outside, you can find a way to make it about the divine, about the creator. So even if it's just, a job or a new home that you're moving into, that's actually very symbolic. How can you turn any experience into an intentional one that involves inviting God's presence more into your life, into the lives of others, and into this world? Have you been doing that? So ask yourself, what kind of efforts have I been giving? Have I been really committed? How have I, because we're kind of examining the past few stories, right? Because we're coming to this completion. So it's like looking back, and this story Pekudei starts off with all of the materials that were contributed. So it's like looking at the past, few weeks and asking, what have I been giving to my highest goals? Have I been giving anything at all? Have I been giving my all? Because that's what I should be giving, my fullest presence to the process of manifesting those highest intentions. That's my mission and purpose. So how have I been doing that, or how have I not been doing that? Then we can review the golden calf that recently happened a couple weeks ago and ask ourselves, when I became distracted, how did I get myself back on track? Okay, so it's kind of like this is the fourth leg of like a 4-quarter cycle. We're closing up and we're reviewing all the parts that got us here. We're going, wow, I gave so much, or wow, I really didn't give enough. Okay, we should be inspired by the Israelites and their story of this process and what it took to come to this final level of completion of the building of the tabernacle, and then God's presence coming in to fill that space because of all the work that they've put into it, all the effort and dedication they put into it. So ask yourself, where are you at right now with your goals? Are your goals, as divine as that pursuit was of building the tabernacle? How can you insert purpose and intention, conscious intention into your goals? And then review the process it'll take to get there and have a plan for your golden calf or your distraction that's inevitably going to come up along the way, because that's how we're tested. How did you handle your distractions up until this point? How have you been handling your distractions? When you come to that place of separation from source, from the creator, when you feel even, maybe a little depressed or anxious, or you start going off the path, or, going away from the direction of manifesting that goal. What did you do? What was your game plan to get back on track? And did you forgive yourself for it? Have you forgiven yourself? Because the Israelites would not have gotten to this story, this parsha, this completion of the tabernacle, if they didn't forgive themselves, and if God didn't forgive them, and Creator always does. That was last week's story. So how have you been handling your distractions? How have you been forgiving yourself and inviting in God's forgiveness and moving ahead and moving toward your goals with greater effort, with greater determination than ever before? And so whether you feel you're coming to that level of completion in your life with your goals right now or not, it doesn't matter. The point is to receive the inspiration of the story, because life works in cycles. We're going to come to this place again. So as long as we learn from it, we're doing our best. So learn from it and ask yourself, how can I handle my next creative project, my next creative process? What can I take from these, past few stories of the building of the tabernacle as we end the book of Shemot with this story? How can I remember that the ultimate mission in this life is to create a dwelling place for the divine, and I can make it so that all of my goals are considered in the light of this reflection, of this question, of this intention, so that I can refine my goals and make sure that even the seemingly mundane goals that I set, my material goals, still have a deeper, hidden, spiritual, meaningful, profound purpose. And how can I be prepared for distraction so that I have a strategy to stay on track, and to know that even when I don't, that's okay. And that too is a part of the process. And if I can forgive myself and open up to the forgiveness of the Creator, then I can get right back on track with greater determination than before. And I can complete that goal, which I know will welcome in that divine presence into the world, into my world, into this world. And I know that upon completion of whatever my goal is, it will be in alignment with the fulfillment of bringing heaven to earth, because I will have already locked that into my subconscious. I will have already, as I accepted my goal, I will have simultaneously accepted the deeper responsibility behind that goal to weave in this manifestation of heaven on earth and make that the backing, the foundation of every single goal that I set. Okay, and just really quick before I end here, relating this past new moon activation to this parsha, this Torah story, it was all about, not rushing, not allowing our emotions to overcome us to where we make decisions irrationally and too spontaneously, to where we get hurt, to where we cause chaos, too impulsively, right? Instead, to pour water, is the Hebrew letter for water. Pour that water on that fire so that we can come back to balance within ourselves, in our heart, our polarities, in balance, doing that harmonious dance. And from there, we can move ahead on the path, on the straight and narrow path, right? Back to the one. Stay on track from a balanced and grounded and rooted place so that we can get to that finish line, build that temple, create that dwelling place for the divine, to then receive that holy presence. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I wish you a super meaningful Shabbat. Have these dialogues with your family and friends. Please feel free to share this video. I know it's in our private group, Shabbat Crew on Facebook, but I'm going to go ahead now and load it as usual to YouTube, Rebecca Magic, and Instagram, Rebecca Magic. Feel free to share it there with family and friends or invite them into our private group here on Facebook. All right, I'll see you in a short bit here for the candle lighting. Love you guys. Shabbat Shalom.